I got fired this morning from a company I have been working at for the last 8 years.
Hey friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, we'll be talking about more and more people are being laid off from their jobs. So I've put the stitches together so that you watch. I'll be back to share my true sense.
I got fired this morning from a company I have been working at for the last 8 years. I've had the same boss for the last 8 years. And yeah, it happened this morning. 9 a.m., I had a meeting booked with my boss. Our HR business partner immediately joins the call. They tell me that due to restructuring, they have to make hard decisions, and they have decided, after review at all leadership levels, that my job will be terminated. This came as a massive shock. There was no performance improvement plan. There was no conversation about how I could have been performing better. They essentially just told me, effective Friday, your role is no longer here. My only question I could muster the strength to ask is like, what's happening with my team? Are they also being let go? And they said that they could not answer that question at the time.
I just got laid off. I was laid off from my outpatient job, and I was working in a NICU follow-up clinic. I have never experienced something like this before. So I'm doing what any sane person would do, which is I'm eating French fries, waiting to go into Hobby Lobby. I will say I'm very thankful that I work per diem. I do have a second job that I'll just pick up a little bit more at. I don't have benefits through this job, so I'm not taking a hit as much as a lot of the other nurses are, but whoa. I have a lot of feelings about this. I think the biggest one I'm feeling though is disappointment and I'm a little bit angry. This is the first time where I have seen with my own eyes that we treat healthcare like a business. It sucks because at the end of the day, the people who are suffering this layoff the most isn't me, it's not the nurses, although yes, we are suffering, it's the kids. And that's what I'm having such a hard time understanding is, why are we doing this when we know the detrimental impact it's going to have on the patients who are the children?
I lost my job this week. I went onto Zoom to have my usual one-on-one with my manager. When I hopped on, the first person I saw was head of HR. I work in a tech company, so most probably I was getting laid off. My role was made redundant, meaning that the company no longer needed my role or function in the organization. When I first heard the news, I kind of didn't know how to feel. For someone who was so career driven and who works really hard to keep a work ethic really strong, I felt like the rug was pulled from under my feet. Like I had no way to prepare for this. And I think that unless you have been made redundant before, you just like nothing prepares you for this kind of like gut punching feeling. By the way, I'm absolutely okay. I've come to terms with it. I'm excited for what the future holds. In Australia, Fair Works allows you to have consultation periods where you can ask questions and see if there are any other roles that you can jump into at the company and things like that. So there are discussions, and so I made sure that I did my research. I seeked legal advice. I called Fair Works and asked, you know, am I getting paid out in a fair way and things like that. Really just things to look at for myself. But nonetheless, I'm in a really happy position right now. I think this is the perfect time for me to take an R&R, and this trip has come almost just pretty much at like the perfect time for me to reset after I come back. Someone said on LinkedIn that this is just a minor setback for a huge comeback, and you know what, that shit just like lit me on fire, and I am super excited to come back and see what I can do. My manifestation board does have a photography studio on it, and that's just something that I've always wanted, so maybe this is the time for me to really focus on photography again because I've missed it so much. The good thing is I don't have to work for a while, so thanks Joseph for looking after me. I appreciate all the support that my surrounding friends and family have given me in the past week. It is a lot to process when you have really supportive friends and family in your life and colleagues, ex-colleagues that are just rooting for you. It's a really nice feeling to be able to go into the world and be like, yeah, like I've totally got this. But holy, what a crazy last few days. No one prepares you for this shit, you know, and actually no one tells you how common it is either. But anyway, thank you for listening to my TED Talk. We are going on our trip in 2 days, so that's all I'm going to focus on now. Thanks for listening. See you in...
I fired from my job as a flight attendant. And I know that I don't owe anyone on the internet an explanation. I kind of feel like I need to talk about it for the sake of my sanity. And also because I feel like, well, one, if this video can help the next flight attendant maybe not get fired, that'll make me feel a little bit better. Not a whole lot better, but it'll make me feel a little bit better. And then two, because I feel like every video I've made, I've always tried to be as honest and transparent as I can possibly be with all the different experiences I've had. Because I feel like sometimes with social media, we can shy away from being honest about life experiences and the things that happen. Like, we're always so quick to share the wins and the good, and like our high moments, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. But when we experience unfortunate events like losing our jobs, losing a relationship, or, you know, whatever that looks like, we're not as open to talk about it. And that's valid. Not everybody wants to broadcast their failures or the downfalls in their life. But me personally, I pride myself on being honest about my experiences, whether they're good or bad. Because at the end of the day, we're human and shit happens and we lose our jobs. And that's just a part of it. And if me being vulnerable and open and honest can help the next person who might be going through the same exact thing as me, if it can help them just a little bit, it'll give me a sense of accomplishment, knowing that my honesty and my transparency was able to encourage or help the next person. Whether we want to admit it or not, everybody's experiencing a little bit of something in their life. And I don't share every single bad thing that happens to me, but if that was the case, babe, this TikTok would be a lot longer than 10 minutes. But I was very quick and eager to share the fact that I got my dream job as a flight attendant with you guys. So now that that journey has unfortunately come to an end, I just feel like it's only right to just be honest about where I'm at now and what's going on and what's next. I'm not going to go into like full-blown detail about why I lost my job. Long story short, I missed a deadhead. Because of that, I got a non-working occurrence. Like, it's a non-working SAD is what my job refers to it as, but it's a non-working occurrence. For my specific company, your probation era is a year long. So while you are in probation, you cannot get a non-working occurrence. And since I received a non-working occurrence while in my probation era, I was unfortunately terminated. And it's also because I, back in like January, I forgot my badge, which made me late for my flight. And I received an occurrence for that, but it wasn't a non-working occurrence. It was just an occurrence, which we're allowed to have. Because I had that previous occurrence and now this non-working occurrence, I was told my reliability was a concern and I was terminated. And I probably should have started off saying this, but I was working for SkyWest Airlines. And if you're anybody that's considering working for SkyWest, or you are working for SkyWest, one, they are a great company. I'm not gonna shit on them or say anything bad, because I thoroughly enjoyed my time working there and I thought it was an amazing airline. Unfortunately, my career was short-lived, and you know, it's disappointing, but that doesn't make them a terrible airline. However, what I will say is that if you're very new, or you're in your probation era, or you're in training, or you're thinking about, the advice I have for you is to be very, very, very careful during year one. Be very, very, very careful during year one. Year one, it's almost like anything and everything you do can get you fired. And I wish that I was, for example, admin is going to tell you that you have 5 occurrences, 3 personal, 2 doctors, or 3 doctors, 2 personal, however you want to do it, but you get a total of 5 in your first year. My advice to you is, if you can, not to use any of them at all. And I'm not saying you can't use them. I'm just saying try your best to not use any of your occurrences. And if you do have to use an occurrence for any reason, what I was told by admin is that they want to see 1 occurrence per quarter. So you only need to be using 1 occurrence every 4 months. That's typically what they want to see, which is rational. You know, I can't argue with that. I just wish I had a better understanding of that, because I didn't know that. I was told, hey, you have 5. And I kind of just thought it was free will. Not that I had used all, I had only used 2. But because I had used 1 in December and 1 in February, they were just too close to one another to overlook. So just be cautious of your occurrences and how you use them, because that can get you fired. And again, I don't think they're a terrible company in the slightest bit. I do wish that I could have been given the opportunity for redemption, but they have a policy they would stick by, and although I don't necessarily agree with it, I gotta respect it. So yeah, y'all, that's tea. Unfortunately, not really the tea that I wanted to give y'all, but this is what it is for the time being. But yeah, for anybody that's going through something similar, whether you work for an airline, a corporate job, whatever that looks like, as cliche as this sounds, you'll get through it. It'll be okay. If you did it once, you can do it again. That's the thing that's kind of getting me through this. I'm like, if I did it once, I can do it again and again and again. And I don't know everybody's spiritual beliefs, but I'm a firm believer that God doesn't put me through anything that I can't handle. And more importantly, I'm just learning to trust in God and trust in the process and allowing Him to just guide me to what is for me. And yeah, but yeah, this is really all I got, y'all. That's the tea. But I do have a couple interviews tomorrow because y'all know Big Mama don't play no games about her money. Okay. For anybody and everybody who's checked on me, I love y'all so much and I appreciate you. But I gotta go, so I will talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bro, it's like 8 o'clock. Just got let go from my job. I don't know, man. Gotta see what's next for me. Gotta see what's next for me, dog. Man, let me tell you how whack and lame this job is. This place I was working at, bro. So, little backstory. I've been having issues with these people for some months now. And I don't know, we just never gelled. And it just never gelled. But anyways, I got let go today. Mind you, I have an hour commute from where I live in Lafayette to Baton Rouge, and then another hour commute to get home. So 2 hours of my day I'd spend driving here. It's Monday. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. I got here at 6:30. They let me get here. They let me do all my whole Monday routine, all that jazz, and then they let me go. Why? First of all, for starters, why not do that over the phone? Y'all could have told me that over the phone, or y'all could have told me that Friday that this was coming. Y'all could have warned me. Save my gas, my job. I could have been sleeping. You know, I had a good Father's Day yesterday. I played pickleball, the whole nine, had a blast. You know, for things to come, I guess crashing down today, which is fine. You know, I was 1 foot in, 1 foot out anyway. You know, I had been going to HR trying to get things to change as far as the narrative towards me, and it didn't fathom, you know, to pan out. But man, I don't know. Today is day one of being unemployed. I don't know what I'm about to do. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know. You know, I gotta pray to God, and you know, I've been praying to God to just remove me from any situations that serve me no purpose, that don't do nothing for my life, nothing that I need, not allowing me to head in the direction that I need to go. Not that I want to, but where I need to go. So, yeah, man, I don't know. Day one. We'll see. And if possible, can you guys help me get to 1,000 followers on TikTok, and help me get to 1,000 followers, bro? And I'm gonna try the whole TikTok affiliate thing, whatever. You know, just in the meantime, I'd be grateful for that. I don't need, you know, y'all could do that for me if y'all could pass the word, reach, you know, push the algorithm, whatever it is I need to do, bro. Help me get to that 1,000 followers. And hey, my appreciation is gonna be out the roof. Y'all let me know. Let me know. Follow me.
That's a video, guys. I'm just here to share my 2 cents, like what I think about today's video. More people are being laid off. Okay, so we are witnessing a wave of layoffs sweeping across industries, tech, media, finance, rental, and even healthy. Every other day, a company you once thought was stable and successful announced job cuts. People are packing their desk not because they did anything wrong, but because of decision made for far above their pay grade. It is not just the underperformance or new hires experienced or employee, team leaders, even retired departments are being let go. But why is this happening? What's really going on? Let's be honest. The economic landscape has changed drastically. After the pandemic, many companies overhired thinking the boom would last forever. E-commerce was rising, remote work was popular, digital tools were in high demand. But fast forward to now, inflation has hit hard. Interest rate has risen, consumer spend is more cautious, and businesses are scrambling to cut costs and the streamline. And when big companies want to save money fast, unfortunately, it's the workers who get sacrificed. Another hard truth is job security doesn't mean what it used to. Many people still believe that if you show up, do your work, stay loyal, and hit your target, you have a job forever. But this is not in 1990s. Today, companies look at numbers. If the numbers don't add up, they let go, even if you're a star performer. And in many cases, they replace full-time staff with freelancers, contractors, or even AI tools that don't ask for benefit or sick days. This is where the conversation gets personal. It's not just about losing a paycheck, it's about losing stability, identity, and dignity. People who have worked in the same job for 10, 15 to 20 years are suddenly being told we are going in a different direction. No warning, no real explanation, just a generic email or a cold Zoom meeting. And you know what was the silence, the fear, the shame. A lot of people don't even tell their friends or family when they've been laid off. They suffer in silence, hoping they bounce back to work quickly. But it's hard. Job hunting today is not what it used to be. You're not just competing with people in your town anymore. You're competing globally. More and more people are realizing that even when your degree, experience, and good performance, they are not safe. Okay, they're not safe. Companies don't owe you your job security, and the world is becoming more unpredictable. That's why now more than ever, people are looking for ways to take control. Some are starting side hustles, others are building personal brands, learning digital skills or freelancing. People are trying to be their own backup plan because they have seen the first hand what happens when you put all your eggs in one employer basket. It's scary time, but it's also a wake up call. If you have been laid off, it's not your fault. You are not a failure. You are part of the system that is being reshaped. And now you got to make new moves. And if you're still employed, don't get too comfortable. Prepare, save, learn, build. The rag can be pulled from under anyone at any time. In the end, we need to talk about this more. We need to normalize this conversation. Being laid off is not a taboo, it's becoming a common part of modern working. Okay, life. But just because it's common doesn't mean it's easy. The emotional toll is real, the financial pressure is heavy, and the rebuilding process can take time. But you're not alone. You can bounce back. You can reevaluate yourself. And sometimes what feels like the end is just the beginning of a new, stronger chapter for you. So don't even feel bad like, oh, I've been laid off. I don't know what really to do. Yeah, everyone has been there. A lot of people are going through the same. Okay, it's not like it's your fault, but it's the company's fault most of the times. They're just laying off people who worked so hard for this company. You help this company to make profit. You help this company to build, to be in its position. But once the layoff come, they're not going to tell that this person was working so hard for this company. They're not even going to think about that. They're only going to think about themselves. Companies don't stay loyal. You need to put it in your head. So even if you're working, you have to be looking for other chances. Okay, be open to learn and move to another chances. Okay, don't be just stuck to one place. It's not okay. You need to learn to do that. So as layoffs are happening, I know a lot of things are happening, but don't just lose hope. You need to take care of yourself. You need to make sure you are in good mind and keep searching for jobs if you've been laid off. Don't just stick like I've been laid off. I don't feel like doing anything. I know it's okay to feel like that, and it's okay to feel like overwhelmed with the same situation, but you need the another job. So thank you for taking your time to watch this video. I'll see you in the next episode.